All right, today I want to talk about a pretty amazing new system called DreamPlay. It's all built around this one really powerful idea. What if you could take a dream and make it real, without needing a giant pile of cash to get started? Let's dive in and see how it flips the old way of doing things completely on its head.
Just think about this for a second. How many truly incredible ideas just disappear? The kind of ideas that could change a whole community. But because there's no funding, they just, poof, they're gone. It's a huge problem. But DreamPlay asks a different question. What if all you really needed was that idea, and just $1 from one person who believes in you?
Okay, so the whole system is based on this people-first idea. This is phase one, and it's everything. So for a minute, I want you to just forget about venture capital, forget about buying land, all of that. DreamPlay says that before anything else, any real project has to start with organized people.
And here's the core of it. This is the big idea. Labor comes first. Before you can fund something, before you can build anything, you need people. You need an organized group of humans with ideas and with the drive to get others on board. That right there is a total flip from how we usually think, right? We're always told to go find the money first.
So when we say labor here, what are we really talking about? It's not about swinging a hammer. In the DreamPlay world, labor is all about the people who do that critical early work. And it gets broken down into two main roles to get things started: dreamers and dream hunters.
And this is pretty smart how they separate these two jobs. First, you've got the dreamer. That's the person with the idea, the one who brings that initial spark. But we all know an idea on its own isn't enough, right? And that's where the dream hunter comes in. Their job is absolutely crucial. They're the organizers. They're the ones who go out and get people fired up and activated around that dream. One person has the vision, the other one builds the team.
Okay, so we've got the roles, the dreamer and the dream hunter. It makes sense. But how do you actually get in the game? How do you start contributing? Well, DreamPlay lays out two really clear paths to jump right in.
Path number one is for all you self-starters out there. It's super simple. You post your dream, you find just one person to back it with a single dollar. That's it. Your dream is now live and active. This means you can get the ball rolling right away without waiting around for some big check to come through.
Now the second path, this one's all about speed. It's about accelerating things. Here, a sponsor can actually pay a dream hunter to go out and organize a whole crew of new members. And those people come into the system with what's called starter fuel, just a little something to get them going, so they're ready to contribute from day one. You can see how this would scale things up way, way faster.
All right, so you've got this engine running, right? You've got people organized, things are happening. Now we're ready for phase two. This is where finance comes in. And notice the timing here. It's not to start the fire. It's to throw gasoline on the fire that labor already got going.
The finance folks, these are the people providing the capital. But again, and this is so important, they aren't funding a pipe dream from scratch. They are supporting and speeding up the activity that's already happening because of the labor phase. This group includes people like sponsors, bankers, and miners.
So you're probably thinking, okay, sponsoring, that sounds expensive, right? Well, get ready for this because it's probably not what you expect. The price to get in, to become a sponsor and make a real impact, is $24.
And what does that $24 actually do? It's not some abstract donation. It directly pays to activate 10 new people and bring them into the DreamPlay system. That's a direct shot of human energy, a direct injection of new potential into the whole thing.
And I love this part. It's totally transparent. You can see exactly where that money goes. So for sponsoring 10 people, $10 goes straight to those new members as their starter fuel. It's the system's currency, DPLIQ. Another $10 goes to the dream hunter, who did the organizing work. They get paid for their effort. And the last $4, that goes into a system reserve. Simple, clean. You know where every single penny went.
Okay, so we have organized people, we have money fueling the system, and that brings us to the payoff. This is the best part. Phase 3. This is where all of that energy comes together to create real stuff in the real world. And this is where our final group of heroes comes in, the builders. Their job is to step in, look at the best, most organized dreams that are bubbling up from the system, pull together the resources, and actually bring them to life. They're the ones who turn the digital vision into something physical you can actually touch.
The whole point of this final phase is to be the culmination of everything that came before it. It's about taking all that human energy, the ideas, the belief, the organization, and turning it into actual development. This is what makes sure a dream doesn't just stay an idea online.
It becomes a school, a community garden, a new business.
So let's just zoom out for a second and look at how this whole DreamPlay engine works, from the very beginning to the very end. When you see all three phases lined up, you really get a feel for how clean and logical the whole system is.
And here's the whole journey. It all starts with phase 1. You organize the people around great ideas. Once that engine is humming along, phase 2 brings in the money to supercharge it. And then finally, phase 3 brings in the builders to turn all that organized, funded energy into real projects. From a spark to a finished building, it just makes sense.
Look, if you remember nothing else from this, remember this one sentence. This is the whole mantra of DreamPlay right here. First, organize labor, then bring finance, then build bigger things. That's the recipe. And it's the complete opposite of how we're normally taught to do anything.
And that's why this is such a potential game changer, especially for folks who don't have a lot of resources to start with. Just look at what you don't need. You don't need to go find investors first. You don't need to set up a fancy company first. You don't even need to own land first. You can start with just an idea and one single person who believes in it.
This is really the final, empowering message here. It's a direct challenge to this idea that you need someone's permission or a huge bank account to start making a difference. This system is all about tearing down those old barriers and just letting the power of organized people take the lead.
So when a system like this lowers the bar to get started to almost zero, it really leaves us with just one big question, for you and for me. What dream would you start with?